Okay, we stopped here to have coffee. Get some gas. And now we are on our way to Fort Morgan to do the tour. So here we are, Fort Morgan. That's why there was so much traffic, because the ferry just came in.
The National Historic Landmark on the Gulf Shores of Alabama, known as Fort Morgan. Since 1834, Fort Morgan has stood as a guardian of Mobile Bay. The military site and the National Historic Landmark is located 22 miles west of Gulf Shores. When you pull up into the parking lot, there is a little museum. There are many artifacts on display. The fort is most famous for its role in the Civil War Battle of Mobile Bay. Here, Union Rear Admiral David Farragut dammed the torpedoes and went full speed ahead to win the battle. Fort Bower preceded Fort Morgan at Mobile Point. Fort Bower was constructed by the U.S. Army during 1813 to guard against possible British attack. Fort Morgan provided protective fire for blockade runners during the war. All 17 vessels that ran out of the bay eluded capture, as did 19 of the 21 that attempted to enter. After Confederates observed U.S. Army soldiers in the Sand Island Lighthouse, reconnoitering Fort Morgan, the fort fired on the island, destroying the lighthouse. Construction for Fort Morgan began in 1819, but due to its isolated location, the fort was not completed until 1834. Skilled masons, many of which were enslaved African Americans, built the fortification, which contains more than 46 million cubic yards of bricks. August 12th, 1864. My dear wife, I am well. We are still at this place as prisoners of war. We have no reason to complain. We are treated kindly by officers and soldiers. We get plenty to eat and live on. In the daytime, we have permission to walk about in the fort. At night, we are locked up and in a good room. We have no reason to complain. I wrote you a few lines from here, which I hope you have received. I wish you to write to me. Write to Mr. Petit. Ask him to send it to me through the Spanish consul at Pensacola. The letters I get from you will be opened and read by the officers. Some of our men have got letters from home since we come here. My dear wife, God only knows how bad I want to see you and the babies. I don't know when a letter will get to me. I want you to write to Sergeant Petit and ask him to send my things home. Ask him to be sure and send my horse to you. The company has no right to keep any of my things. I think we will go to New Orleans from here and hope we will be exchanged before long. I want you and the children to keep in good spirits about me. Pray for me and I will pray for you. And the babies, as long as I have breath to do so. Write once a month, nothing more. Your husband until death, C.T. Pope. Between 1895 and 1900, Fort Morgan received 5 concrete batteries with fire control, electricity, and communications. Eventually, the U.S. government abandoned the fort, letting it fall in disrepair. The United States Department of War turned Fort Morgan over to Alabama in 1946, and the Army completely abandoned the fort in 1947. After the United States declared war on Germany in April 1917, the fort trained CAC soldiers in modern weapons. In 2007, Fort Morgan was listed as one of the nation's 10 most endangered battle sites. In June 2008, a 90-pound live Union naval shell was uncovered at the site. The shell was from a Parrott rifle on a U.S. Navy warship and was fired at the fort in the summer of 1864. The discovery came during excavations as part of a project meant to repair cracks in the walls. The Battle of Mobile Bay in August 1864, used intermittently through the Spanish-American War, World War I, and World War II. The site showcases the evolution of seacoast fortifications and adaptations made by the U.S. Army for the defense of the country. It is really something to see if you're ever in that area and you're interested in history. Being a bit of a history buff, totally something that I like to see. Fort Morgan Historic Site, located on Mobile Point at the end of the scenic Fort Morgan Peninsula. I hope you guys enjoyed that tour. For more destination adventures, you can click that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Bye for now.